guys. Today we're going to be doing a yin practice. So we'll be holding some of our deeper stretches for a little bit longer. We're going to start in a seated position, and I recommend you maybe having a block or maybe two with you for practice today. This practice is in particular going to work on the hips. We'll start in our seated easy posture. I like sitting on a block so that my knees can be pointing downwards from my hips. And we'll bring the hands down on the thighs, palms facing up, and unite the thumb and index fingers together in Gyan Mudra, a mudra that helps us ground. Go ahead and ground down through your sit bone as you lengthen up through the crown of your head. And when you're ready for it, you're welcome to close your eyes. We'll start with a little initial meditation. First thing in meditation is to bring in that sense of pratyahara, the withdrawal of the senses. So start by really paying attention to your surroundings. Listen to the noises around you. Feel the ground underneath you and the contact between you and the earth. Feel the temperature on your skin and the clothes. And it's almost like that with your eyes closed, you can still see everything around you. And as we have identified our outer external world, we'll begin to let that pass and bring the attention more inwards. And we'll use dhyana, our one focus, to bring the attention inwards. And we'll use our one focus being our breath. Just starting to sense the natural rhythm of your breath. You do not really have to change your breath, but just observe it. And know that the surroundings and everything around you and your thoughts might come back into your attention throughout the practice today, which is perfectly normal. And we'll try and practice compassion in the sense that when this happens, we do not judge ourselves for not keeping the one focus. But we simply recognize that our mind has drifted and we link the attention back to the breath. Practicing this one focus of dhyana throughout time, we can end up getting into this more meditative state of dhyana, where that one focus is not just a focus anymore, but you are becoming one with it. Like being in this sense of flow, where you're fully absorbed by that single focus. As we go through the practice today, and you find yourself in deep stretches, we oftentimes get challenged with impatience and urges to move and get out of the position. But can we use the 3 steps of pratyahara withdrawal of the senses of this frustrating, maybe slight pain that the stretches are causing us. Linking the attention back to the calming breath to allow ourselves to enter dhyana, this meditative state. You're welcome to keep your eyes closed. But on your next breath in, sweep your palms out to the sides and all the way up and overhead until your palms are touching, uniting. And on your exhale, bring your thumbs down in front of your nose and all the way down in front of your heart as you slightly bow your head. Inhale, bring the arms out to the side and all the way up and overhead, making your nose get in the direction of your palms. And on your exhale, draw your hands down to heart center. And Anjali Mudra. One last time, inhale, bring your arms up and overhead. Maybe a slight extension of your spine as you gaze and your chest lifts. And on your exhale, bring those palms back down to the front. Anjali Mudra. And we'll keep this Anjali Mudra uniting back to the breath. Maybe at this time, you find a more controlled, calming breath where your inhales and your exhales becomes evenly long in a comfortable rhythm. Take one more inhale. And with your exhale, release your palms down to the sides and we'll remove the block. From here, join the soles of your feet together in front of you and interlace your fingers around your toes and begin to walk your hip bones closer towards your heels. For a moment here, you can kind of rock your knees up and down, just kind of slowly opening the groins and the hips. When you're ready for it, you guide the knees outwards. The line lengthens through the inner thighs and out towards the knees. As you hold on to your feet or ankles, wherever you can reach onto, begin to lift your chest up and forward so that your spine lengthens. Your feet are kind of pulling on to your fingers so that your shoulders get pulled down away from your ears and you find length from the ears and down through the neck and down to the shoulders. Take a breath in and lengthen up, tuck your chin slightly in. And on your exhale, guide your gaze down towards your chest. Take a breath in and guide your right ear over towards the right shoulder. And on your exhale, come back down to center, look down. Inhale, guide it over towards the left side. And exhale, come down to center. Inhale, right. Exhale, center. Inhale and exhale, center. Inhale, you slowly roll your head back up to center. And on your exhale, release your feet. Straighten out your legs out in an angle, maybe about a 90 degree. I like to kind of pull the backs of my glutes backwards for a little more space for the hamstrings. My toes are lifting up towards the ceiling. I like to keep a block here in front of me. You can even stack a couple of blocks if you know you're slightly tight on your hamstrings or your inner thighs. Bring your hands down behind your hips. Take a breath in and lift your chest upwards. Find length in your spine. And on your exhale, leading from your chest, begin to guide yourself down and forward, trying to keep the spine straight as far as you can. From here, you can relax your arms down the sides of the blocks and relax your head down. Still trying to find some length in the spine as you fold. Remember, a couple of blocks is perfectly okay. Finding a little more space to keep the spine long. And as you enter this position, we'll close the eyes. And you can take a moment to sense everything you're feeling right now. The stretch, and how that stretch is making you feel. And as you recognize that, leave it be. Returning back to the focus of the calming breath that allows us to again enter a state of meditation. We find stillness in the body, calmness within the breath that helps us quiet the mind. And as the mind may sometimes wander, recognize it, leave it be, and return to the awareness of your one focus, your dhyana, your breath, that brings you back to the meditative state of a calm mind. Next inhalation, we'll slowly roll ourselves back up. And you can grab underneath your knees, bend the knees, and guide your legs back in towards each other. Hold around your knees, and just round yourself into a tiny little ball. And we'll take the opposite motion. Keep your legs bent, the soles of your feet on the ground. Bring your hands out behind your hips. And on a breath in, just simply lift your chest up towards the ceiling, finding an extension of the spine. Press firmly down into the ground, finding a higher lift of your chest. Take one more inhalation in this counter stretch. And on your exhale, release. We'll cross the ankles and step back into a tabletop. When you find your tabletop, on your next inhalation, we'll start an arching in the spine by guiding from the tailbone, rolling through the lower back, upper back, up through the neck, until you find cow pose. And on your exhale, we'll start the movement again from the tailbone, moving up through the low back, upper back, until your gaze is in. Inhale, lift your tailbone, drop your belly, lift your chest, gaze up. Exhale, tailbone down, belly up, chest in, and gaze inward. One last time, inhale, slow movement into cow pose. Exhale, roll it back. On your next breath in, come back to center, and we'll lift the right foot up towards the ceiling, flex the ankle. And from here, we'll simply just draw some circles with the knee in any direction. We'll do both of them. Just nice big circles, kind of awakening the hip joint. And from here, we'll switch direction. Nice big movement, keeping the core slightly engaged to avoid it to move up into the spine. After this next circle, take a breath in and guide the legs straight up behind you. And on your exhale, we'll guide that. I'm going to walk my hands a little further forward. A right foot comes towards the left wrist, and the right knee behind the right. From here, slide the left foot towards the back end of the mat. We'll slowly move our way into pigeon pose. If you feel like at this point we haven't done enough stretching or warm up to get this deep into it, you're welcome to roll onto your back and do a figure four stretch, or we can also support ourselves with a block underneath that right hip. On your next inhalation, lift your chest upward. And on your exhale, walk your hands out and forward. Find a place where with your head can find some rest. You're welcome to have a block for support underneath your head. And once again, as you find this point where it stretches, you recognize the feelings, both physically and emotionally and mentally, that comes up. Just acknowledge that they're there. And then allow them to get in the background and fade away as you return your awareness to your breath, linking our awareness to the breath. And becoming one with it. Inhalation, slowly guide your hands back in as your chest slowly lifts. Take your time. Tuck the toes behind you and support on the back knee as you just slowly slide that right foot backwards. Guide your knees out to the outer edges of the mat, toes into touch. Sit back over your heels. Child's pose. Moment to feel everything you're sensing at this moment. The differences between the two hips. And we'll slowly make our way back up to tabletop. Your next breath in, lift the left foot up towards the ceiling. As we find this flexion and your toes pointing downwards. The knee is in flexion and the hip, the thigh bone becomes an extension of your spine. And then we'll begin to draw some circles. Remember, it doesn't really matter which direction you start. Big circles with the knees. Moving the thigh bone, the femur, inside the hip socket. After this next one, you can switch direction and you break a few circles the other way. After your next one, take a breath in and lengthen the foot out behind you. Slide your fingertips a little further forward, and on your exhale, we'll guide the left foot up behind the right wrist and allow the left knee to fall out behind the left wrist. Slide the the right foot towards the back end of the mat. Take a moment to evaluate if you need any support or any changes in this posture. It's not always the same on one side and the other. When you're ready for it, walk your hands out and forward. You can relax your head down on the mat or down on the floor. Let's take that moment to register the physical sensations. And what those physical sensations brings up in your mind. When you have located those, allow everything to become in the background. The external world, your physical sensations, your thoughts and emotions. As you return your awareness to the slow and calming breath. That helps us find that quietness of the mind. Your next inhalation will slowly lift the chest as the hands walk back in. Take your time. And from here, we tuck the right toes under, support on the right knee as you slide the left foot. Bring the toes in to touch, the knees out wide as we return back into child's pose. Allowing the disturbances from the world around you to gently fade away. We'll slowly return back to tabletop. And we'll take a seat and swing the legs out in front of us. Make sure you bring a block with you as we come all the way down on our backs. Bring your arms out to the side, like a big T with your palms facing downwards. Bring your legs up to a 90-degree angle. Take a breath in. And on your exhale, slowly let your legs surrender down towards the right side. If you like, you can find some support with a block underneath the right thigh. And that may help you find the height wherewith your left shoulder can stay on the ground. You can turn your gaze towards the left hand and gently close your eyes. Feel how the breath settles within your body. The expansions and the contractions of the rhythm of the breath. Your next inhalation will slowly guide the legs back into center. And on your exhale, we'll send them down towards the left side. I again like to have that support with the block underneath my left thigh. Turn your nose or your gaze towards the right hand you gently close your eyes. Bringing their attention to the rhythm and the flow of contractions and expansion within your body with each breath. Linking our awareness to the soul focus of the breath. Your next breath in, bring your legs up to center. And on your exhale, release the soles of your feet down to the ground. Bring your hands down each side of your body. Let's keep the feet hip-width distance apart. And on your next breath in, and ground down into your feet as you slowly lift your hips off the ground. Just lift them as far as feels comfortable. And we'll set the block in to support the sacrum, not your lower back, but down at the top of your glute muscle. And we can kind of use the block to lengthen the glutes down towards the heels. Find that spot where you feel a lengthen of the front of your hips, but where you don't feel like you are in an extreme back bend, a comfortable middle point. Take that moment to once again experience the physical sensations and how those make you feel within, what thoughts it brings up, what emotions it brings up. And as we locate these, we'll allow them to get in the background. Bring your awareness back to the breath as you become one with that flow of breath. It is a feeling where it's not you and the breath, but you are the breath. We are in this state of becoming the breath, this oneness of everything that is. We'll slowly begin to distance ourselves and just observe the breath as if you were looking at it from the outside. Like you're stepping one step away from where you just were. step one more step away and begin to experience the whole body. All the sensations, all the emotions, and maybe your thoughts are starting to come back. Take one more inhalation in this posture. And on your exhale, gently slide that block up as you roll yourself all the way down. Tuck the knees gently in over your chest. Still feeling every sensation within your body, your mind, and your emotions. And when you're ready for it, you can roll yourself over to either side into a fetal posture. Your eyes can remain closed, so we still keep that focus within ourselves. When you're ready for it, gently press into one hand as you slide your way up to a comfortable, easy position. Bring your hands back on your thighs, palms pointing up. Index fingers and thumbs unite in guided mudra. The last moment in this inward focus, feeling your whole body. Gently bring the focus a little more outwards as you start to feel the ground underneath you, the seat, the contact between you and the earth. Feel the clothes on your skin, the temperature of the room, the air. Gently beginning to listen to the noises around you. Begin to imagine all the little details in the room around you, like your eyes were open and you can see it all clearly. Slowly bring your palms together in front of your heart. Nandrali Mudra. Take an inhale through your nose. And an open mouth, releasing. Exhale out as you gently bow your head towards your fingertips. The teacher and the student within me honors and acknowledges the teacher and the student within you. In gratitude for our physical, our mental, and our spiritual health, we say namaste.